is the Jason Walker Show. Two-time National Sports Media Association Montana Sportscaster of the Year, and three-time loser, the Jason Walker Show. The best local and statewide sports coverage, featuring the biggest guests from Montana.
Flint Rasmussen joining us here on the Jason Walker Show.
He's freaking exhausting, too. You used to dance a lot more. Yeah, I know, lady. I'm 51 years old now.
The NAI Hall of Famers, Mike Van Diest, joining us here, Jason Walker Show. And is it just a deal where quarterbacks have to be good golfers?
Well, that's all they have time for. They don't work out. They don't lift weight. They don't do anything else. They might as well go get on the golf course and at least have some fun.
And from across the country,
Doug Gottlieb, our guest here on the Jason Walker Show.
End of the day, remember, it's your show. It's got your name on it.
Howie Mandel, our guest here.
Jason Walker, deal or no deal?
the Jason Walker Show, presented by Helena Accommodations, the in-town 5-star extended stay residences. Visit HelenaAccommodations.com. Broadcasting from the Major Mortgage Man Cave, here's Jason Walker.
Yo, happy Wednesday. It is the Jason Walker Show. And big show coming up today. Presented by Helena Accommodations, the in-town 5-star extended stay residences. Visit HelenaAccommodations.com. Inside the Major Mortgage Man Cave, we are going to have a big show. We're going to talk college and high school wrestling, because this guy knows what he's talking about, because he coached in high school for a long time, and then he coaches college now. But Steve Comack from the University of Providence will join us, coming up in about 15 minutes or so. We're also going to talk about a special ball game coming up tomorrow night at Montana State. Bethany Cordell, the assistant athletic director, associate athletic director of marketing, will join us coming up later on this hour. Great sponsors. Thanks to you, we have great listeners and a whole lot more. And if you want to be a part of the show, you can watch it on Facebook. You can watch on YouTube. You can listen on Podbean, Network One Sports. Also, you can tune in on TreasureStateRadio.com. If you have not downloaded that app yet, do so at Google Play or Apple Store, whichever suits your fancy. All right. We're also going to have That's What She Said coming up. We've got a fantastic, just dumb video to show you coming up as well. And a whole lot more. It's a big show today. We have On This Day in History, the walk-off at the end, of course. And we're going to talk some basketball, high school rankings as well, and a whole lot more. All right, we're going to start, though, with some very good news, encouraging news. And that is that our good friend Jesse Davis is improving. He was moved out of ICU and is now on the surgical trauma floor. And this, according to a post from his wife, Cassidy Davis, earlier today. But Jesse Davis, as you know, was injured last week in a rodeo and had a horse basically land on him, crush his liver, and Jesse lost a lot of blood. And he is now doing better, and that is fantastic news. And according to Cassidy's Facebook post, continuing, they have the same team of trauma doctors that has been there the entire time for the last week with Jesse. He has developed some blood clots, a little fluids built up, but all's fixable. They don't know how much longer they're going to be there, but his girls, Crew and Quincy, the 4-year-old twins, finally got to see Dad, and that's fantastic. They have read all your messages. They have listened to all your voicemail, and they just thank you for supporting them, the Davis family. So we'll keep you updated on Jesse, but great news is that he's still, in the hospital, and he will be for a while. But by all accounts, improving mightily. So that's great news. And again, we'll keep you updated. We posted on the Jason Walker Show Facebook page and also on my personal Facebook page where you can go to help out the family if you want to donate. They're asking you to go donate blood because it took a lot of blood to save Jesse last week. All right, so we'll keep you updated on him. All right, I saw this yesterday or last night, and it's kind of amazing, honestly. All right, so I gotta get to the post. Oh, I have it pulled up right here. All right, there's an assembly member, Linda Rosenthal. She works in Manhattan or New York. And in New York City, she is a Democrat from Manhattan. She is pitching a bill in the Empire State that would ban essentially techniques used in rodeo competitions, essentially banning rodeo in the state of New York. I'm not sure if you've read this. We have it on our Facebook page, Jason Walker Show. Also, my personal one. You can always, by the way, email us, jasonwalkersports@gmail.com. But, okay, so here's this assembly member, Linda Rosenthal, and we have reached out to her, but she wants to ban techniques used in rodeo, such as calf roping and the use of electric cattle prods and sharpened spurs. Quote, to quote Linda Rosenthal of Manhattan, New York, quote, rodeos are modern-day gladiator games, blood sport, masquerading as entertainment. Make no mistake about it, bull riding and other rodeo events are not family-friendly entertainment, end quote. This is from Linda Rosenthal. The lawmaker, along with animal advocates, are calling on Madison Square Garden to cancel an upcoming rodeo event that's scheduled for June. It's called Rodeo New York. Partnership with the Cowboy Channel, 3 days of rodeo in Manhattan at Madison Square Garden. MSG is marketing the event as the first rodeo to be held in the arena in 3 decades over Father's Day weekend. Quoting Rosenthal again, it is shocking that MSG would host this brutality. End quote. Okay, here's the thing, Ms. Rosenthal, assembly member. Rodeo doesn't use sharpened spurs. So you're speaking out of your ear hole or some other place. And this goes for PBR, this goes for PRCA, Northern Rodeo, this goes across the board for rodeo. They don't use sharpened spurs. The rowels are rounded. They don't hurt the animal. Flank straps don't hurt the animal. Okay? You're misinformed, as are most animal rights activists, about rodeo and PBR. The PBR, and I spoke to Flint Rasmussen today on the phone about this, and he said, I can talk to you about what he said. PBR doesn't want Rodeo New York to happen, but not for the reasons that this assemblywoman is thinking. Because if this bill passes in New York, it's going to hurt the PBR. The PBR will have to go away in New York. It's the kickoff to the PBR season every year. And one other thing, when the PBR rolls into New York City, the city blocks off a side street for the couple of TV trucks, the couple of trucks and semis that they need. The bulls are shipped in from an hour and a half away. And we all know in this state that how well animals are treated in rodeo and PBR. But they block off the side street for the small contingent of vehicles needed for the PBR in January at Madison Square Garden. And they also, I don't know if you knew this, I didn't know this until today either, but the PBR, so when the Knicks and the PBR take place at Madison Square Garden, it's on the 5th floor. So the bulls get walked up this ramp on the outside. Anyway, it's kind of cool. But what Linda Rosenthal is advocating, the assemblywoman in Manhattan, New York, basically would hurt rodeo and PBR. So the PBR would have to go away if this bill passes. And then the 25 plus PRCA rodeos that are held in New York every year, would go away. This drives me nuts when animal rights advocates who have no knowledge of what they're talking about bring this up. Okay, they don't use sharpened spurs. The flank straps don't hurt the animals, whether it's broncs or bulls. You have no idea of what you're talking about. We have a love in this country, and especially in this state, for the sport of rodeo and for the PBR. Because there's a difference between rodeo and PBR. Here's one more thing to think about. Rodeo New York should probably not happen at MSG. Aside from it would do away with most rodeos in the state of New York and PBR event. A couple of things here. Dalen Swearingen, who's ranked 5th on the PBR tour right now, is a New York guy. He's your college champion in Saddle Bronc. He qualified for the national finals last year. Dalen Swearingen's one of the top young cowboys in the sport of rodeo and PBR. He's a New Yorker. But here's the other thing that the PBR doesn't want to happen, or want rodeo in New York to happen, and it's not the PBR. They want the rodeos to happen in New York, just not at Madison Square Garden. Here's the thing. This is a full rodeo being planned. Where the heck are you going to put all the trucks and trailers and stock contractors, trailers, semis, in downtown New York? Where are the team ropers, calf ropers, and barrel racers supposed to warm up their animals? So while the rodeo in New York in June probably shouldn't happen for the main reason that it would do serious damage to all rodeo in the state of New York and the PBR. But Linda Rosenthal, the assemblywoman, is just out of her freaking mind, pitching a bill that talks about stuff that doesn't even happen. Like sharpened spurs. They don't use sharpened spurs. The quote again, quote, rodeos are modern day gladiator games, blood sport masquerading as entertainment, end quote. You have no idea, Rosenthal, what the hell you're talking about. You just don't. And PETA, animal rights activists, you don't know what you're talking about when it comes to rodeo or the PBR. You have no idea. Those animals are treated better than every competitor. Whether it's rodeo from here in Montana, Northern Rodeo, PRCA, we have some of the absolute best stock contractors in this state and just north of us in Canada. We have some right here in Helena, the Kesslers. You don't know what you're talking about if you're an animal rights activist. None whatsoever. And if you want to challenge me on this, please do. Email me. I'll call you. Send me your phone number. Tweet me at JWalkerSports. But you don't know what you're talking about if you want to ban rodeos in the state of New York. But get a hold of me. I dare you. I'd love to talk to an animal rights activist about rodeo and PBR. I would absolutely love to challenge you on this. Please get a hold of me. Anyway, all right, I digress for a minute. We will take a break and talk about something super, super positive, which is wrestling. A big duel's coming up. College duel is coming up Thursday night down in Billings. And it's going to make a fantastic 3-day event in Billings of wrestling. College wrestling followed by 2 days of the all-class state wrestling tournament. And when we return here on the Jason Walker Show, we are going to chat with Steve Comack. He is the interim wrestling coach at Providence, and he'll join us next. Still to come, Bethany Cordell. We'll talk about a fantastic ball game coming up tomorrow and a whole lot more. Jason Walker Show coming right back here. Major Mortgage Man Cave presented by Helen Accommodations. This is the Jason Walker Show.
Have you thought about buying a home and just don't know where to begin? Well, when it comes to one of the most important purchases one can make, we understand it can be frustrating and confusing, but it doesn't have to be. Let the Major Mortgage team help you with all your mortgage needs. Major Mortgage means major service, and we would love the opportunity to help you today. Give J.R. McFadden, NMLS number 1246357, a call today at 406-465-1918, or you can visit him at 2001 11th Avenue, Building A, Suite 3 in Helena. Major Mortgage is a division of AMCAP Mortgage, NMLS number 129122, equal housing lender. Yes, it's true that Montana is a long way from the Gulf Coast, but you can bring that Cajun flavor home with a stop at Cafe Zydeco. From po' boys to classic sandwiches, Cafe Zydeco has all the best Cajun in town. Are you in the mood for seafood gumbo or crawfish etouffee? Maybe you're craving jambalaya with some shrimp and grits. Head in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or call ahead for pickup or delivery. Cafe Zydeco will fix all your southern cravings, even on a chilly Montana day. Cafe Zydeco is a proud sponsor of The Jason Walker Show. Spring is fast approaching and summer is just around the corner, so now is the time to get those windows tinted at Auto Concepts as the sun starts to heat up. Tinting is the best way to keep the sun out of your little one's eyes driving down the road. Plus, it just looks cool. Auto Concepts is your exclusive 3M dealer for tinting as well as the best clear bras in town. Auto Concepts clear bras will not fade or yellow over time. And don't forget about suspension lifts and power steps for your rig too. Visit AutoConceptsHelena.com or check them out on Facebook. Auto Concepts, the auto enhancement professionals. Everyone knows about Dinners Done Right and the convenience of the cook and carry cuisines. It's so easy to just stop by and you have something for dinner that night. But there's also one more thing you need to know about. Dinners Done Right Grab and Go Salad Bar. Yes, I said salad bar. Always the freshest ingredients along with a daily soup and nacho bar too. So the next time you are in a rush or you just want to eat healthy, stop by Dinners Done Right for the soup, salad, and nacho bar. For monthly menus and more info, it's dinnersdoneright.com.
Welcome back to the Jason Walker Show.
Jason Walker Show, presented by Helena Accommodations, the in-town 5-star extended stay residences. Visit HelenaAccommodations.com. We're going to talk to Bethany Cordell, the Associate Athletic Director of Marketing at Montana State. They got a big ball game coming up tomorrow night on the men's side, and we'll chat with Bethany about that. You're going to enjoy this, I promise. It doesn't matter if you're a Bobcat fan or not, or a basketball fan. You're going to enjoy hearing about tomorrow night's ball game down in Bozeman. So she's coming up. Also, That's What She Said with Bethany and a special edition. Not special edition, but another. So we have like 2 That's What She Saids today, which is cool. We got a crazy video to show you coming up a little bit later on. And if you're watching on the Facebook and the YouTube, and if not, you should be. Go to jasonwalkershow.com for more info of where to watch and listen. Also, what we have on this day in history, we're going to talk about the basketball games from last night, high school and college, and a whole lot more. We just got a big show coming up here inside the Major Mortgage Man Cave. All of our guests appear courtesy of Mike Miller State Farm Hotline, and it's not just a Homer car. It's the 5 hours you spent in the kitchen mastering that epic wing recipe, or getting ready for that tailgate party, while other insurance companies just see them as a bundle or combo. State Farm agent Mike Miller sees your home and car as the time and memories you put into them. Mike understands what your things really mean to you, and he's here to help you give them the protection they deserve. Talk to State Farm agent Mike Miller in Helena for your home and auto insurance today. Fantastic supporter of the Jason Walker Show. He's a local guy. I mean, he's from Anaconda. He played football at Carroll College, and he stayed in Helena. You should give him a call. I highly recommend it. All right. One of those guests that's going to join us on the State Farm Mike Miller hotline is the head wrestling coach at the University of Providence. A big duel coming up tomorrow. Argos ranked 9th. They're going to take on MSU Northern, which is 20th in the country, and it'll be held at Senior High School in Billings. And it's ahead of the all-class state wrestling tournament, which is coming up Friday and Saturday in the Magic City. And joining us to talk about tomorrow night's duel and high school wrestling and a whole lot more, it is the interim wrestling coach at the University of Providence. His name is Steve Comack, and he joins us now here on the Jason Walker Show.
2-1. All right, Coach, first off, how's the year been for you? Because it was kind of a hectic start to the wrestling season for you.
You know, it was just obviously a very, very fast transition and into a new job. And while you would assume that coaching is just coaching, definitely a different business level of office work and stuff at the college level to the high school level. So it was pretty hectic there for a while. But, you know, what's really come to a realization throughout the year is we just have a great group of kids and a really good group of senior leaders. So they made the transition just so much better than it could have been. And wrestling is kind of wrestling after that. So the wrestling room has been great. The team's been great. And they've allowed me the latitude to learn the job as I go. So it's been a very positive experience overall.
There's a lot more administrative duties, right, at the college level as opposed to the high school level?
There's a ton of administrative duties, and you still have a lot of support within the university system, and you still have people that work with and work for, but there's just the office job of the high school is significantly less than the office job at the college level, and that really was a rude awakening.
I'm sure it was, but like you said, as Steve Comack joins us, the Providence wrestling coach, interim tag. I think that interim tag will be removed if you want it at the end of the year, but we'll talk about that down the road. But big weekend for you guys, and you mentioned that and we'll talk about that here in a second. But it's been a good year. I think 13-4 in duels this year, 5-0 in conference. That's impressive for a team that you knew about, but you hadn't seen, firsthand every day. It's been pretty impressive year, though.
It really has been. It's throughout the whole room. It's not just a couple kids or few kids. It's the whole team. The senior leadership was probably the biggest piece that they just kicked it off in a very inviting, open-minded way. They let a new staff come in. They accepted us and were willing to work with us, and that was probably the biggest piece. And then, over half the line was Montana kids, so that probably gave me a little bit of a head start that a lot of these kids I did know, from previous years. But then the out-of-state kids, they were just equally as good to work with.
You've got some guys that are ranked in the top 20, which is fantastic across the nation. And, that includes Sean Roberts, who's the third-ranked guy at 157. You mentioned a Montana kid. He's one of them. He's been so steady and so good his entire career.
He has. He's just he's a competitor. That's, when people ask me about Sean, I'm so happy that I got a chance to know Sean this year because he was one of the kids that I've seen compete for years and always respected his abilities, but just didn't know very well. So I'm really glad I got a chance to know him, and he's been a tremendous leader for us in the room, and he's just a great competitor. He competes as hard in practice as anybody I've ever coached in my career. The kid just does not take a day off.
He doesn't. A couple guys you're familiar with, both ranked at 165 and 174, but Casey Dobson and then Jordan Comack. These are two kids that Great Falls High fans have known for a long time, and Providence fans are knowing, and so is the rest of the country.
Yeah, it obviously had some familiarities. I definitely, even though I'm new to the program, I definitely had a head start with some of that, obviously, and had some familiarities. And they knew what to expect with me and the new guys that came in. Ty and Cole, our assistant coaches, have been amazing as well. Mm-hmm. And they're also previous Great Falls High graduates. So there's just a theme here of people that knew what to expect. I think is one of the things that really contributed.
The Providence wrestling coach, Steve Comack, joining us here on the Jason Walker Show. A couple of guys I wanted to chat about as well, both for you and for Northern, and we'll talk about that Northern duel, like I said. But down here in Helena, it's Hayden Schroll at 197 for you, and then you look at Nick Coons from Capital at 125 for Northern, and Landon Bailey at 133. These guys they were great in high school. What have you liked about their college careers?
They're all three good competitors. They all three go hard when you get on the mat. Regardless of what school, I can speak as a Montana coach and a Montana fan about all three of them. And when you watch them wrestle, they just wrestle hard. They wrestle aggressively. They wrestle to win. They grew up in great club programs there in Helena, and we're very fortunate to have Hayden, and I know Coach Steve Ridge is very fortunate to have Landon and Nick.
Steve Comack, our guest here, Jason Walker Show on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. All right, let's talk about this duel coming up Thursday down in Billings. Northern's giving up a home meet, or a home duel, but this is cool. And I know it's been talked about for a long time, and it's finally happening, but a great top 20 college duel down in the Magic City the night before the state or all-class wrestling tournament. But this is a big night and a big showcase for the NAI as a whole, but especially for Providence and Northern.
Yeah, it's going to be a tremendous duel. When we go through the lineups, there's just very few mismatches. I mean, at every weight, I think it's going to be very well contested. You're going to see a ton of Montana kids, and I should have just counted the number, but I know that it's well over 50% of the lineups are going to be Montana kids. And it's going to be exciting to show the state of Montana that these nationally ranked kids, several of them do come from Montana, and they can compete at the national level. And we tell our kids that in high school all the time, that this way we kind of get to show it, to a group of people.
It's going to be fantastic at Billings Senior High School. Why is it not at the Metro the night before? I mean, the Metro ought to get to be set up. It would have been a fantastic night at Metro Park.
I guess I'm going to punt a little on that one and plead the fifth a little bit on that one. Coming in behind the eight ball, I know that that was just the way it was scheduled, and I'm sure there's a bunch of logistics. I've watched the MHSA group, work that tournament for a couple of decades now, and I'm just sure there were some logistics. And fortunately, the Billings Public Schools welcomed us in, and we're very thankful to them for doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and senior will be a packed house. Tickets are only like $5. It's a great event. But this is, like I said, a great showcase for two fantastic programs in the state. But now you got your conference tournament coming up, next week down in California, and then nationals after that. This is a busy couple of weeks here for you, and we're not even talking about recruiting yet.
Recruiting was that other thing, like the office side, and I just kind of lumped recruiting in there. But recruiting was definitely a new thing, a whole new business, a whole new time schedule, a new understanding, and it's busy, it's hectic. We've spotted a number of Montana kids that we like, we've been talking to for the last 2 months, and as soon as their season's over next week, we're going to start getting some of those kids in here for visits, and we just like what we see out of Montana kids. And then some of the surrounding states, we've got a number of kids coming in for visits over the next month or so.
By the way, I think there is 14 guys wrestling tomorrow night for Northern and Providence combined from the state of Montana. That's awesome.
It is awesome. And like I said, a lot of those kids nationally ranked, and even if they're not nationally ranked, they're right there. They're very competitive.
Steve Comack, our guest here, Jason Walker Show. All right, so we talked about the duel, but then it's a great 3 days in the Magic City, because then on Friday, the all-class state wrestling tournament goes on, and I've never been to it. It's a bucket list, but I was always doing basketball stuff. This is definitely the best weekend, I think, in the state of Montana for tournaments of any kind. But aside from the all-class volleyball tournament in Bozeman in November, this is for you being a wrestler, and for, I wrestled in high school as well. This is a great weekend for high school sports in Montana.
It is. The Montana High School Association deserves so much credit for putting that thing in the Metro, over 30 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I got a chance to compete in that tournament once 30 years ago, and I thought it was exciting as it did. And then as a coach, it's just been a great thing. It's been a great facility. It's been a great tournament. Billings has been a good wrestling town, and it's definitely something people got right. And fortunately, they've stuck with it. Once you get something right, I believe in sticking with it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. You were a longtime high school coach. I think you spent 16 years at Great Falls High, and 6 years. Help me out here. Where were you before that?
At Brownie High School.
Brownie, that's right. Yeah. The advent and the addition of girls wrestling to Montana High School Association. What's your thoughts on that? Because I think it's fantastic. I think there's 75 girls this year, and that number is only going to grow now.
That number is going to give an opportunity to give people kind of a reason and a justification and a validation, if that makes sense, that that the opportunity is now there and take advantage of it. Girls wrestling has been growing steadily for years, and I know statistically it's the fastest growing sport we have at youth levels, and it is growing and it is getting better all the time. And I think a lot of people are excited that Montana decided to make that step.
And of course, there's women's wrestling at Providence.
Yeah, it's a fun program. We get to see them every single day. They practice before we do, and they lift weights after we do and stuff. And it's a great program. They put the same kind of time, the same kind of effort that we do. They've got a great coaching staff, a bunch of good student athletes here, and it's fun to watch. It's a first-hand look into women's wrestling a lot deeper than I've ever been around, and it's definitely fun to watch, and we really do support it.
Steve Comack, the Providence wrestling coach. I got to ask you this, but for a long time you were down on the mats and not being able to, watch a whole lot other than your wrestlers at the state tournament. What's it going to be like sitting in the stands for the next couple of days?
I'm super excited to be there. I'm super excited to go watch the tournament. It's a great venue, great event, and I'm going to tell you that I'm horrible at watching wrestling. I don't sit well. I don't sit idle well. When action is happening, I seem to think I have something to say, and it's just they'll be fine. Everybody's going to do just fine without me on the floor. There's a lot of good coaches down on that floor, so everything's going to be good. But personally, I'm not going to sit very well. I have a feeling.
So are you one of those guys when you're sitting in the stands watching wrestling that you do like you did on the mats when you're coaching? You're down on your knees, you're making moves, you're jumping up and down. I mean, it's watching coaches is almost more exciting than watching the actual wrestling.
Yeah, I'm guilty of wrestling as a kid. That's why, I see a kid change elevations or take a shot, and I don't move as fast as I did once, but my body wants to move. And it's just an instinct that I don't know if you ever outgrow.
That is fantastic. Well, Coach, I appreciate the time. I know you're a busy guy and got to run, but have fun on Thursday night down in Billings. Enjoy the state wrestling tournament as a fan and a recruiter, and we'll talk to you down the road. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, we appreciate the opportunity to give us a chance to speak about the kids, so thank you.
That is Steve Comack, the interim wrestling coach at the University of Providence, joining us on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. And big duel tomorrow down in Billings. So if you're in the Magic City for the All-Class State Wrestling Tournament, which starts Friday and runs through Saturday night, go watch that college duel. You got the 20th ranked Lights of Northern, 9th ranked Argos of Providence. I mean, this is going to be a fantastic college wrestling duel and a great showcase for a couple of great programs in the state of Montana and across the country. So if you get a chance tomorrow night, go down there. Tickets are $5 for adults and $3 for students and kids. I mean, this is awesome. Go watch it. To be at senior high school in the Magic City. Support for the Jason Walker Show comes from Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-belt grooming. Yep, that's right. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. No joke. Sometimes if you've shaven in the past or trimmed in the past, you might have cut yourself or nicked. Well, that's not going to happen anymore. Manscaped has redesigned the electric trimmer. The Lawnmower 2.0, proprietary skin-safe technology. This trimmer will not nick. It will not snag. And accidents are a thing of the past. Manscaped also has Crop Preserver. It's an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. And I'm telling you guys, you already put deodorant on your armpits. Have we decided, by the way, is it under the armpits, in the armpits, on the armpit? Help me out here. Tweet me. Are we putting deodorant on or in our armpits? I don't know. But the Crop Preserver, this stuff right here, right there, it is a deodorant and moisturizer. Put it on the smelliest part of your body. And also you get the package, you get the big package, you get the Crop Reviver. If you need a refresher, if you've been walking around all day, you got a little stickiness going on, Crop Preserver, Crop Reviver. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code WALKER20 at manscaped.com. Okay? Walker, WALKER 20 at manscaped.com. You get 20% off and free shipping. It's always the right tools for the job. Your balls are going to thank you. And by the way, Manscaped, the newest supporter, not only of the Jason Walker Show, the PBR. Flint Rasmussen and I talking about the exact same thing. Are you kidding me? How cool is that? Get 20% off and free shipping. We use the code WALKER20 at manscaped.com. That is 20% off free shipping. Manscaped.com. Use the code WALKER20. I'm telling you. Fantastic. Valentine's Day, guys. I hope you ordered for this. You got to be trimmed from here and below. You got to. Flowers are great. Dinner's great. The date is great. Trimming's better. Manscaped.com. Use the code WALKER20. There was some high school rankings that came out. Nice transition, Jason. We'll start with boys basketball. How's that? The newest 406mtsports.com rankings. Let's see here. Class AA, no surprise. Say Hellgate boys #1 in Class AA basketball. Let's see. Who's #2? Where did I go? What are we doing here? Here we go. West is #2. Capital boys #3. Sentinel, and then Skyview, the top 5. Top 5 in Class A boys. Hardin, Butte Central, Frenchtown, Hamilton, and Billings Central. Class B top 5 boys, Huntley Project, #1. Lodgegrass drops a spot. They lost to Huntley last week. Colstrip, Three Forks, and Fairfield. In Class C, Manhattan Christian, Twin Bridges, Fort Benton, Melstone, and Scobie. Of the top 5, everyone's unbeaten except #1 Christian, which is 15-1. But yeah, a great Class C. AA girls, Capital stays in #1 despite losing for the first time last week to #2 Hellgate. So the top 2 stay the same. Really the top 4. Sentinel and West. Helena High girls jump into the top 5. The Bengal girls are 6-7. They've been up and down all year, but they're now in the top 5. We'll see. They had a big win over the weekend, or last week, but okay. Class A girls: Hardin, Billings Central, Havre, Browning, Columbia Falls. Class B girls top 5: Loyola, Big Timber, Harlem, Forsyth, St. Lebray, and Class C: Fort Benton, Belt, Roy Winifred, Charlotte, Melstone. Those teams still only with 2 combined losses. In fact, in the top 10, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 losses combined in the Class C top 10 girls. So there you go. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back here on the Jason Walker Show, we are going to be joined, speaking of Manscaped, and, we cover basketball. We cover football. We cover soccer, which plays with a soccer ball. We cover golf balls. We cover volleyball. What else do we cover? We cover the balls. And there's a special ball game coming up tomorrow night down in Bozeman. The Associate Athletic Director of Marketing at MSU, Bethany Cordell, will join us next to talk about it on the Jason Walker Show. You don't want to miss this. Trust me.
Spring is fast approaching and summer is just around the corner, so now is the time to get those windows tinted at Auto Concepts as the sun starts to heat up. Tinting is the best way to keep the sun out of your little one's eyes driving down the road. Plus, it just looks cool. Auto Concepts is your exclusive 3M dealer for tinting, as well as the best clear bras in town. Auto Concepts clear bras will not fade or yellow over time. And don't forget about suspension lifts and power steps for your rig too. Visit AutoConceptsHelena.com or check them out on Facebook. Auto Concepts, the auto enhancement professionals. Yes, it's true that Montana is a long way from the Gulf Coast, but you can bring that Cajun flavor home with a stop at Cafe Zydeco. From po' boys to classic sandwiches, Cafe Zydeco has all the best Cajun in town. Are you in the mood for seafood gumbo or crawfish etouffee? Maybe you're craving jambalaya with some shrimp and grits. Head in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or call ahead for pickup or delivery. Cafe Zydeco will fix all your southern cravings, even on a chilly Montana day. Cafe Zydeco is a proud sponsor of The Jason Walker Show. Have you thought about buying a home and just don't know where to begin? Well, when it comes to one of the most important purchases one can make, we understand it can be frustrating and confusing, but it doesn't have to be. Let the Major Mortgage Team help you with all your mortgage needs. Major Mortgage means major service, and we would love the opportunity to help you today. Give J.R. McFadden, NMLS number 1246357, a call today at 406-465-1918, or you can visit him at 2001 11th Avenue, Building A, Suite 3 in Helena. Major Mortgage is a division of AMCAP Mortgage, NMLS number 129122, equal housing lender. Everyone knows about Dinner's Done Right and the convenience of the cook and carry cuisines. It's so easy to just stop by and you have something for dinner that night. But there's also one more thing you need to know about. Dinner's Done Right Grab and Go Salad Bar. Yes, I said salad bar. Always the freshest ingredients, along with a daily soup and nacho bar too. So the next time you are in a rush or you just want to eat healthy, stop by Dinner's Done Right for the soup, salad, and nacho bar. For monthly menus and more info, it's dinnersdoneright.com.
Welcome back to the Jason Walker Show.
Jason Walker Show, Major Mortgage Man Cave. Appreciate you joining us on a Wednesday. Still to come on this day in history. That's what she said, and a lot more. But I just want to get straight to this because I'm very excited. Like I said, we talk about all the balls here on the Jason Walker Show. And there is a special ball game, quote unquote, coming up tomorrow night down in Bozeman. Before we talk about that, we welcome in the Associate Athletic Director of Marketing at Montana State, Bethany Cordell, great friend of the show. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Jason?
I am fantastic. It is a great day. It's beautiful. We don't have a ton of snow. We just are having a great time here in the Major Mortgage Man Cave.
Well, good.
You guys got more snow in Bozeman than we do here.
Oh, gosh. We got so much snow. It hasn't stopped snowing for like a week, but we love it. I won't complain.
Well, there you go. I know you're getting ready to go have a after-work meeting, one of those late meetings. But before we talk about tomorrow night, I forgot this until yesterday. But because I think Keith Olbermann at ESPN talked about you before. When you were at Kansas State, you put together, the Bacon game?
Yeah, I did. And Keith Olbermann himself called me the single worst person in sports on national television. So I will forever have that as a brand of honor for my career.
But he's a jackass, so it doesn't matter.
He is, it's okay.
He's not as cool as Dan Patrick.
That's true.
What was that game? Refresh us.
Yeah, so we did. So back when I was a little graduate assistant for Kansas State, we were kind of just throwing around ideas of how to get students to a women's basketball game. And I think this was literally right before I take a little bit of credit for the crazy food craze promotion where everybody started doing that a couple of years ago. But we, instead of T-shirts or pizza or whatever, we're literally, what about bacon? If we just gave away bacon. To get people to a game, and it was awesome. It went totally viral. We were on ESPN. Our coaches loved it. You're not always talking about women's basketball on the national stage, and it was fun to kind of be able to bring that attention. We ended up giving away 300 pounds of bacon, literally just bacon, at a women's basketball game, and I think we tripled our student attendance numbers that game. It was great. It was a lot of fun.
Bethany Cordell joining us here, the Associate Athletic Director of Marketing at Montana State. All right, so we've got a big game tomorrow down in Bozeman, and I say it's a big game because it is, but it's also a fantastic, quote-unquote, ball game. Explain.
So, similar to the bacon thing, kind of along the same lines, I guess. We were just trying to get creative with, how to keep generating buzz for our students on campus. And this was actually an idea that generated from the marketing office at least a year ago. So this one's not super new, but we hadn't executed it yet. We just knew it was something we wanted to do when the timing was right. And it was right this year. So we are giving out Rocky Mountain oysters to our students ahead of tomorrow night's game.
Oh, this is great.
I'm
because
so excited.
They used to have one of the frats on campus used to do something down at the fairgrounds with Rocky Mountain oysters. I know we've all been there for that one. This is different. Do you have people that don't know what Rocky Mountain oysters are?
We do. We've had, it's funny too, even a couple of our international student athletes explaining to them what it is has been probably the highlight of my week. So I have certainly appreciated that. But yeah, that's the thing. Been explaining it. I also, confession, have never tried them. So I'm being forced to try them tomorrow.
You've never had one?
I'm excited about it. No, I've never had one. Born and raised in Montana, and I've never had one.
Bethany.
I know.
I'm going to tell you what to expect, okay? Because when I had my first, I was I'd had a few beverages, and I know you can't. So this is what to expect. It's a little chewy.
Ugh.
Have you ever had snails?
Yeah.
It's a little like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're deep fried, right? Like, so like everything tastes great deep fried. That's my perspective. So, it'll be great.
Yeah, it's the texture is a little different. I want to know what the international students' reaction, like what does their face look like when you tell them exactly what Rocky Mountain oysters are?
I really think, a couple of them, I think, genuinely thought I was just messing with them. Like, they're like, that's literally not a thing. And so we did actually put it on the Facebook graphic that we put out, where it just says, just Google it, because we didn't want to, have to explain what it was. And so it's pretty funny. I got to say, pitching this one up the ladder the last couple of weeks has been entertaining as well, too.
Obviously, everybody in the athletic department is behind this, but what was athletic director? What was Leon Costello's thoughts? What was Lamberty's thoughts when you said, "Hey, we're going to have a quote unquote ball game"?
Yeah, I think they thought it was very on brand for my marketing style. I'm a little quirky and like to throw some things out there. And yeah, credit to Leon and even Coach Sprinkle and everybody involved in the program. That's like, hey, yeah, like we trust you. You're the marketing person. We can throw something on a wall and see what sticks.
Oh, so. Well, they will stick. It's to your insight.
That's what I'm like struggling with. Like, how punny can I get? Since I'm live on the radio, I don't know what things I'm supposed to say.
Well, we're not on the radio. We're just on the internet, so you can say whatever the hell you want. Yeah.
Good.
My dad just Facebooked and said you haven't lived until you try it over a branding fire. So you have to go to a branding coming up in the spring. And I know you're going to try one tomorrow, but they're probably, better fresh.
Well, it's funny because I can't remember. God, I'm 99.9% sure it was Dan Davies that was sitting in my office earlier today that was talking specifically about that, how like the first time and the way he loves them is at a branding fire. So again, very on brand with the Montana State culture. We're just trying to blend in.
Hey, it's an egg school,
Yeah, exactly.
Did you ever see the episode of Dirty Jobs? Mike Rowe was just outside Grand Junction, Colorado, and was castrating sheep, but with his mouth.
I did not see that episode, and I'm not upset that I haven't.
Oh, you have to Google it. It's fantastic.
Okay, I'll look it up.
Yeah, no, I highly recommend that episode. If you're going to watch any episode of Dirty Jobs, you've got to watch the one where he castrates sheep with his mouth.
Okay.
He bites them off. It's
oh my gosh.
It's nuts. No pun intended.
It's nuts. Yeah.
You have done some great promotions for. Is it easier for to do something like this for basketball than obviously like football?
Well, our attendance numbers are different too, right? So if you're talking budget, we have fewer people just based on the pure capacity of our arena versus the stadium. So and you have more games, right? Like with football season, you've got 6 regular home games, and people tend to come to them because it's football. And so I've always loved working with basketball because you have a longer season to play with. Like most schools are thought of primarily, at least initially, as a football school, and so it's an exciting challenge to come out and support these teams. Our women's basketball team is first in the conference. Held on to that lead all season. They're a blast to watch. It's so much fun to see what Danny's done with the program already. To see awesome kids like Harry in his senior year. It's a lot of fun. So from a marketing perspective, we've got a little bit more wiggle room to play with.
Did you just call Harold Frey Harry?
Yes, I did. It's Harry. That's his name.
You got the ball thing going on, so I might as well just say it.
Oh my God, stop. I'm going to hang up right now. Thanks for having me, everybody. I appreciate it.
But that is why you go with manscaped.com. See, that's okay. Anyway, Bethany Cordell joining us. I know you got to rush out to this meeting. I don't want to keep you going, but I'm just intrigued. But what else can Montana State basketball fans expect either for the rest of the regular season? You're coming down to the end here, so. Yeah,
it's crazy. We're looking ahead. We got Cat Grizz here next weekend, which is just absolutely nuts again. And we actually just left a brainstorming session with a bunch of my student interns on kind of like the final things that we're doing for student marketing next week to make sure that we're getting everybody out there. But one of the things we're going to do is we're going to give away lifetime basketball season tickets to one of our students. Like literally when they graduate, they will have lifetime basketball season tickets. And
That's
so
awesome.
it's just stuff like that, continuing to engage both our student body, the Bozeman community, and people around the state that come out for our game.
All right, so you did 300 pounds of bacon at Kansas State. How many pounds of balls are you doing tomorrow?
That's a great question. I don't know what the poundage is, but I ordered enough for 200 people, so we shall see what that equates to.
Do they get one apiece, or do you get a pair?
I don't know. Literally on our flyer, it says come have a ball or two with Bobcat basketball. So depends on how into it you are.
All right, so you've done the sprinkle thing because with donuts, but how can you tie in sprinkle and Rocky Mountain oysters?
I refuse to answer that question, but thank you.
Bethany, you are the best. I love your ideas. I can't wait to hear what's coming up next. And you could have done this next week and done Grizz nuts instead.
That's true. We could have.
Just saying.
I'll have to remember that for next year. Good idea.
There you go. Hey, I'm here for you.
Well, thanks. Appreciate it.
Bethany, enjoy your after-work meeting, and good luck tomorrow night. Have fun, and enjoy your Rocky Mountain oyster.
Well, thank you very much, Jason. I appreciate being on all the time. Thanks
so much. That is Bethany Cordell joining us on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. It is a ball game tomorrow at Montana State. Rocky Mountain oysters being served to the students. It's going to be fantastic. Oh, man. I wish I was there for that. Oh, so much fun. All right, let's do, I want to do this here.
We always hear from the guys. What about the ladies? Time for That's What She Said. Brought to you by Dinners Done Right.
All right, so I saw this last night, and Dorian Kraft works at a TV station. Well, it's not really a TV station, an internet station. What's it called? We got to get it back. THV11. She also does play-by-play for Little Rock women's basketball, which is awesome. It's the Thunder Wire, and she's a softball analyst on SEC Network. So I'm going to let her explain it because you know how I feel on the Jason Walker Show about women's athletics. Huge supporter. And there was a controversy over the weekend, and Dorian Kraft handles it remarkably, and that's what she said. Brought to you by Dinners Done Right. So let me get to it. Here we go.
By now, many of you have seen or heard about the comments that were made by SEC basketball analyst Barry Booker on Saturday during the Arkansas-Missouri basketball game. If you haven't, a quick social media search will allow you to watch the clip in its entirety. But during a timeout promoting SEC programming of Saturday Night Heights, the network's broadcast of SEC gymnastics, Booker said, quote, "I want to hang out with the ladies. I want to see some scantily clad girls." Now, in fairness, his broadcast partner Richard Cross immediately said no to try and stop the conversation, and SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey and the network were both quick to condemn the comments made by Booker. But it doesn't change the words, it doesn't change the mindset, and it doesn't change the perceived attitude that women exist, even in the realm of athletics, to be attractive to men. So as a former collegiate athlete myself, my message to Barry Booker and everybody is simple. Stop sexualizing female athletes. Stop sexualizing women who are just doing their job. Because the way that we talk about women matters, and collegiate athletics is a job. Uniforms are not picked to display our figures or created to make us look sexy. They're created to allow us to shoot, hit, throw, and in this case, vault. These young women are competing at the highest level available to them. They train for hours, they travel for hours, they deal with injuries, class schedules, and 1,000 other things that come with collegiate athletics. And no one complains because it comes with the territory. It's the price of being the best collegiate athlete that they can be. And instead of demeaning comments about their uniform, what they deserve is respect.
That's very well said by Dorian Kraft. And we've reached out. We're trying to get Dorian on the show. And she seems, she's got to run it by her bosses, but she seems very amenable to coming onto the show to talk about it. And we've talked about it. Stop sexualizing female athletes. Let them do their jobs. Let them have fun. And let them just be. Dorian said it much better than I. But yeah, so that's what she said. Brought to you by Dinners Done Right. Don't forget to stop by for the soup, salad, and nacho bar. For lunch, it's going to take care of any hunger you might have. I highly, highly recommend it. Dinners Done Right on Cedar Street in Helena. Check them out, dinnersdoneright.helena.com. All right, so that's what she said. Let's do On This Day in History real quick because there's a couple of cool things. Brought to you by the Mother Lode. Also on Cedar, in 1876, Al Spalding opened up his sporting goods shop. Speaking of covering balls, Al Spalding sold a lot of them. 1878, Frederick Thayer patented the catcher's mask, which was one of the great revolutionary items in baseball. 1958, Bill Russell grabbed 41 rebounds to beat Syracuse, 119-101. And then the next, or 3 years later, also on this date, he grabbed 40 rebounds in a win over the Warriors. It's also Bill Russell's birthday today. From 1955 to 1969, from the NCAA to the Olympics and the NBA, his teams played for 16 championships. They won 14. Is Bill Russell the greatest basketball player ever? Question mark. On this date in 2018, American snowboarder Jamie Anderson retained her Olympic slopestyle title. Pyeongchang also won at Sochi in 2014. And also at Pyeongchang, Dutch speed skater Irene Wust became the first Winter Olympian to win an individual gold in 4 straight games, victory in the 1500, the first speed skater to win 10 Olympic medals. We mentioned Bill Russell's birthday today. Also born on this date, 1809, Abraham Lincoln and Charles Darwin. How about that? And on this date in 2000, American football coach Tom Landry passed away at the age of 75. The Dallas Cowboys' first coach and longest tenured coach, Tom Landry, passed away on this date. On this date in history, brought to you by the Motherlode Casino, Sports Bar, and Restaurant. Stop by and have some fun, have a great meal, and enjoy some great drink specials at the Motherlode. All right, so I wanted to show you this video, part of the walk-off. Let's do that. Oh, where's my music? What? There we go.
We're almost at the end of the show. What did we learn? And what did he miss? Time for the walk-off.
All right, part of the walk-off is this fantastic video that I'm going to show you. Who thought about bicycling on snow and ice? Check this out. I probably should mute the audio just in case, but watch this. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, they're using bicycles basically to bike down a glacier. You know something's bound to go wrong, right? Yep, here it comes. Right in the middle of your screen, and then check this out. Oh, right off the ribs. Look at that. And then all hell breaks loose. Literally. Bikes and bikers, man. Why would you, who had this idea? And then, oh, what a great hit there. Love doing this play-by-play as we watch. I mean, there's hundreds of guys and girls biking down a glacier. Not the smartest idea you probably have ever had. Man. Okay, so we'll just let that run in the background while we tell you that Zacchaeus Darko Kelly of the University of Providence named the National Men's Basketball Player of the Week. He had back-to-back double-doubles last week, and including a triple-double. He was 2 assists away from a triple-double. Does that make sense? Last week. Congratulations to Darko Kelly, and a great player for Steve Keller at the University of Providence. Providence men and women out at LC State tomorrow night. Last night, there was Frontier Conference basketball, and the Carroll men and women coming up with a sweep of Rocky. The Rocky men have lost 10 in a row, and the Carroll men and women picking up huge wins, much-needed wins, definitely before their games coming up on Saturday down at the University of Montana Western. So there you go. All right, what do we got? We got a few seconds left. Let me see what else was on. Oh, Raleigh Worcester. Big game. Oh, the Capital. Was it Capital that got a big win last night? I think so. Anyway, Raleigh Worcester became the all-time leading scorer at Hellgate, surpassing Trace Tinkle, who's having a great career, by the way, out at Oregon State. But the Capital girls got a big win. The Capital boys got big wins last night, both beating Big Sky. But Raleigh Worcester is now the Hellgate Knights' all-time leading scorer. So there you go. All right, big show today. Had fun. Hope you enjoyed it. I gotta do this. There we go. Had a lot of fun talking wrestling with Providence coach Steve Comack. Big duel coming up tomorrow night down in Billings. Then Lights and the Argos. That'll be fun. And then the all-class state wrestling tournament starting Thursday and Friday. That duel tomorrow coming up at Senior High School. And Bethany Cordell, Associate Athletic Director of Marketing at Montana State, talking tomorrow night's ball game. Students are going to experience Rocky Mountain oysters tomorrow night. It's going to be fun in Bozeman. Have a great night. We'll see you back here. The walk-off, by the way, presented by Cafe Zydeco. We love Lou and the gang over at Cafe Zydeco, 625 Euclid. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Jason Walker Show.
The Jason Walker Show is produced by the Jason Walker Media Company. Any reuse, rebroadcast, or retransmission without the express written consent of the Jason Walker Show is strictly prohibited. Just listen, watch, and enjoy.